Trying to compose himself. It's very well worked out by the Vietnamese in terms of the press to make sure that it's always more whites than reds in the proximity of the ball. Tan Khoi once again so very brave. He's the captain of the Hong An Gyalai under 19 side and was picked up from a very young age to be a future star. Van Hu having opportunities to run inside the box. They've got to watch with the challenge. Didn't look too convincing as far as the clearances were concerned. Saifullah conspires to lose the ball easily and gives away the corner. Well, Captain Dong Kwang No is just causing mayhem inside the Singapore box, all because he's there at every given opportunity to pick up those loose balls. And that's another one where he picked up after some very unsure defending by the young Lions. They looked very, very rocked, don't they? Having thought that they probably had the game by the scruff of its neck in the early stages, and then to be hit by the counter-attack in lightning quick time and speed and conceding that early goal. And Vietnam are trying to build on this now. They certainly are on the ascendancy. Quang No. Cleared first time, all the way down to Quang Tin, a player who will only be 21 in March. Elie Nie, the goalkeeper. A controversial figure he is. He was actually suspended for a couple of games and fined a couple of years ago. They felt he was actually not playing to his fullest and not giving 100% in a league match. So it was a controversial call as well, with Park Hang-seo actually including him for these qualifiers and wanting to have a look at him. Emma Viue. The long searching ball is a very accurate one, and that is a very good pass. Van Tu loses possession. Glenn. It's Shah Shahiran, a very late challenge being thrown in, born out of frustration more than anything else. And the referee saw, and once again, Tan Khoi, a player that we picked out as the engine room and really the metronome of the team. You can understand why he has been earmarked for great things to come. He's so very accomplished when he's on the ball. He's just got that extra chameleon eyes which sees things that other players don't. Rehan, his normal swashbuckling self, galloping down the flanks, trying to create some sort of situation and question to be asked. It's a throw that's taken very quickly. They've asked for a corner kick. Ilhan wanted that decision to go his way, but it didn't. He was watched very closely in the box by Van Su. It's very trademark Rehan, isn't it? The way that he bombs forward. And his goal still separating the two sides, scored in the 3rd minute of play. Nguyen Van Tung. Gallagher lost the ball that led to the opening goal. This time, let's get a challenge in. That's going to be a free kick shortly for Singapore. Easy call by the referee, who was right next to the possession. Van Tang, guilty of nipping in a little too late. So past the 10-minute mark, and after a bright opening 2 minutes, there's one lightning quick counter-attack by the Vietnamese, and an enterprising run borne out of pace by Quang No. Caught the Singapore defenders flat-footed. Vietnam have the early lead. That's a long throw inside the penalty box earlier for Ilhan, was used by Rehan. That's being picked out again. The shot does come in, but it was always going wide. Took a deflection, and it's going to be a corner for Singapore. Their first of the game. Jared Gallagher was part of the AFC Under-23 qualifiers. Came off the subs bench for a couple of games in that one. Glenn, of course, was the star of that tournament with his 2 goals against Timor-Leste and the Philippines. especially that blockbuster of a goal against the Philippines, which rocked the stadium. Van Tang, and given the assignment of marking Glenn, was trying to go for the short corner. The ball's crossed into the penalty box. Goalkeeper got nowhere. Oh, well, it's saved on the line. That's amazing. That's absolutely brilliant. I believe it was Nguyen Van Son, who must have seen it very late, but reacted well enough to keep that one out. Ilhan Fandi thought that he had scored and was almost wheeling away in celebration until Van Son miraculously kept that ball out. Singapore might just profit from these set-piece situations if the delivery's right. That one wasn't too bad, but didn't carry enough depth, though. Great work by Qayyum. Raihan felt he was fouled, but the referee says it's only a throw. Well, he's employed that long throw a couple of times to hoist it inside the Vietnamese penalty box this time. A little more straightforward to Gallagher. Here is Gallagher trying to drive that one out wide to Glenn. It was easy pickings in the end by Quang Tin. Here is Glenn. Saifullah saw the space open up in front of him. Ambitious to take that strike from that far, especially with that bouncing ball. Too overzealous in trying to get to the ball first and win the ball back from the Vietnamese. And once again, it's a classy Tan Khoi getting the better of the situation. There we go, the number 5. First to it, making sure that he gets in between opponent and ball. And any sort of contact just goes to ground. He'll only turn 21 in October, Tan Khoi. Well headed away by Rian Sanizal. Ilhan, outstretched foot, couldn't get him to the ball before Van Sun. And that kept in play. The assistant referee's flag didn't go up. It's the captain again running at the defense. No free kick, says the referee. MFUA will come away with the ball. A strong press by the Vietnamese, but Singapore play themselves out of the cul-de-sac pretty well. Rian with the final clearance right into the heart of the Vietnamese defense. A couple of defenders getting into each other's way, and they give the ball to Rehan. Magnificent defending. It's kept in play. And, watchful from Gallagher. Playing in the position which was occupied during the under-23 qualifiers by Rehan's brother Haris. It looks to be a lonely figure up front, Ilhan Fandi. I think that a lot of people agree that his best positions being played just in front of the midfielders, just behind that front striker, because he's got a wonderful vision. That ability to keep the ball and spray those passes and be very brave on the ball. Speaking of being very brave on the ball, here are the Vietnamese yet again. And captain is twisting and turning inside out. So the Singapore defenders at the moment just can't deal with Quang Ngo. Here's Quang Ngo once again, weaving his magic on the Prince Stadium pitch. Tan Khoi, it's a disappointing delivery from a man who's got so much quality. Well, they commit themselves to that high press, and whenever it happens, they win the ball, and it goes to the very enthusiastic worker, Quang Ngo. That's when good things happen all the time for Vietnam. It's almost as if that's a figure of him. Here he is on the ball, Quang Ngo again. has got presence for the side, waiting to be dispensed. Gallagher. Shahiran trying to find some cadence and momentum in the way that they just guide the ball along before trying to hit that out-and-out striker of theirs, Ilhan. Too many balls gifted cheaply in the opening minutes. Glenn. Saifulah's made that run, and a very good one. Gallagher's given the ball away once again, and Vietnam on the counter-attack. It's a goal scorer, Van Tong. This time the covering was good enough. I don't think he was ever confident of taking it on all by himself. If he had just put his head down and gone right at goal, it might have been a different story altogether, but you'd have to give credit to Said Akmal. Glenn. Gallagher. His heels nipped by Tan Khoi, letting the referee know about it, but Singapore have possession of the ball. Shahiran, that's wonderful work by Saifullah Akbar. A ball that was never meant to be his, he somehow won it. Raihan floated inside, just a little behind Ilhan Fandi, and he knows it was a chance as well. Oh, there was some swerve behind that cross from Raihan. There we go, just a little too high. And Ilhan, who's very good in the air, almost grabbed the equalizer from a corner situation 5 minutes ago. Found himself free inside the penalty box, but just a little lower, just a little more dip in that cross from Raihan. And that would have been mint. Once again, the Vietnamese don't look very convincing playing the ball from the back and taking those goal kicks. And Singapore defend very high up. Qayyum has lost possession. Tan Khoi always with time on the ball. It's given away. Qayyum took some contact, goes to ground. The referee says it was innocuous, so allows play to go on. And this time he does call for the free kick on the VA. A little too close on the goal scorer, Van Tong. Danish Qayyum made his debut for the under-23s in the last game. The delivery was way too high for Van Tu. Jordan Mavie made himself a real hero in that game against Timor-Leste in the under-23 qualifiers, scoring in the very last minutes to snatch the draw for Singapore. Shahiran had that opportunity, of course, to take it on and turn with space. Instead, has given the ball away to Van Ho. Wanted a free kick, stays on the ground. The referee says ball and the opportunity had already been lost. A little too much juice behind that pass from Shah. No way Glenn was ever going to get close to it. Well, this is where they've struggled so far, Vietnam, trying to play the ball out from defense. At that one time, they've done extremely well. Xuan Tian. Gave the ball away, tried to win it back. Failed to do so. Saifullah finding Raihan. Qayyum is Shahiran. A lot more perhaps expected from the very experienced Shahiran. Raihan. Well, one thing you'll always get from Raihan Stewart is effort. And Mavie Couldn't step away from that challenge. Came biting in with the second one. That's really good work from him. An opportunity for Singapore. Was bursted into the Vietnam penalty box. And Jordan came in with a very late challenge. It might be the first yellow of this game. It is. The studs came flying up as well. Jordan Emma-Vie took the brunt of that contact. Well, he had no right to win the ball in the first place, but caught a bit of the Vietnamese, and I think, there we go. Oh, that's awful, isn't it? The knee of Duy Huong coming straight onto the face of Jordan Emma-Vie. There's blood oozing out of the Singapore defender. Decided to step up front. There's the contact right into his face. A jaw that felt more sore than Rocky would in his final film. A chance for the Singapore players to get some refreshments and maybe some fresh instructions from Nazri Nasser. They have been stringing the passes around, you'd have to say, although not very accurately. It's very much in the final third where that incisive pass goes missing at the moment due to a lack of confidence. Just a little more bravery on the ball Nazri might be demanding from his lads. And Jordan tried to lead by example, coming out from the back and winning the ball higher, but Qayyum's touch was way too heavy as he sprinted right inside the penalty box, only to be denied by a challenge from Duy Huong. So halfway through the first half, Vietnam with a goal scored in the 3rd minute with their very first attack of the game. Dong Quang Ngo, the captain, breaking clear for Din Ter Nam's men inside the penalty box and then sending a delightful cross onto the head of Van Tung to make it 1-0. Nazri Nasser's defenders have been caught wanting for pace time and again, especially when the ball's played behind the back line and when the Vietnamese players start pressing them and bring up the tempo of the press when the central defenders have the ball. That presses panic buttons, and Singapore have been found to give the ball away way too cheaply at times in the opening 10 minutes. They've settled a lot better since then. Should have at least equalized with Ilhan Fandi having a header saved on the line by Nguyen Van Son. That's the closest that they've come to a goal. Here is the effervescent Quang Ngo. Another smart ball played out on the outside to Van Son, player who was marking the post and stayed on the goal line to ensure that Ilhan Fandi's header was opposed. Van Tung's gone down. A clash of knees with Rian Sanizal. There's actually Gallagher came right back and caught a bit of his ankle too. So far so good for the Vietnamese team, although they do look like a side playing with one another for the very first time. Some passes going astray and relying very heavily on their captain Dong Quang Ngo carrying the ball and eating up the miles on his way forward. Emma-Vie is still not back on the pitch, just a little groggy from that challenge earlier on from Duy Huong. That is a magnificent switch. Trying to exploit the pace. Glenn's got to watch his challenges. The last thing he wants to give away a free kick there cheaply because he was running out of space. Tan Khoi It's Kwang No once again just calming matters and playing it right back to the centre-back, Dui Kwong. Played in behind the defence. The flag will go up now. It's discipline and very well done by Gallagher and Stewart. And Jordan Mova saunters right back in. Was that offside? Tried to bend his run. Yeah, just a little late with the pass. Shah Shahiran's been given the responsibility in this role to actually stitch the team together and keep the ball moving and ensure that the passing cadence is alive and well. And there's a role that comes with heavy responsibilities, and at the moment probably just need that bit of movement from him. Just let the ball do the work a lot more. And he's not helped at times by the lack of movement off the ball from his front line. Tan Koi, that's what we're talking about, the movement off the ball. Tan Koi finding Kwang No. Van Hu losing possession of the ball. It's well worked by Glenn. Ilhan holds the ball up well enough. Still Ilhan, surely it's going to be a free kick. The referee says no, but Dui Kwong was all over him. Side Akmal loses the ball to Van Tong. The shot is on. He's onside. Vietnam with an opportunity for goal number 2. Van Tong just a step and a hair too slow. They are so very dangerous at the moment they come forward. And Van Tong, there we go. You have to give credit to the goalkeeper for a very good save, and then he was fortuitous and it took a wicked little bounce. And that swerve of the ball took it away from Van Tong. Ridwan was good and lucky at the same time. Rian Zanizal gives away the free kick. It is frightening, isn't it? It looks as if that they've been under siege and they're defending all the time. It's the moment they have possession of the ball, especially in the offensive third, the way they come at the Singapore defenders. It's as if they feel they can do anything with the ball, especially Kwang No, who's distributed another fabulous pass to Van Tang. Tan Koi back to a very steady Quang Tin. Lots of space down this left-hand side for Dui Kwong. Instead it goes to Xuan Tian. Elinier will have a touch of the ball with Dui Kwong still available and free, and this time being found. I see a batch of Vietnamese supporters in the stadium every time the ball's hit long and direct and goes high up in the air for their centre forwards in that front three. The excitement levels and the buzz just goes up a couple of notches. Wonderful touch by Ilhan. Just couldn't get the better of Dui Kwong. He held him back. Frustrating night for Ilhan Fandi. It's number 5 for the Vietnamese, Tan Koi. That's how you want your defensive midfielders. Keep the ball moving all the time. Space opening up down this right-hand side. Once again, the cross is met by Mova. Saifullah playing it into space for Rian Sanizal. Ridwan is trying to calm matters down and taking his time with the ball. Jordan back to Ridwan. Vietnamese trying to find the perfect time before they press, but Ridwan's pass outside to Raihan was a very good one, and somehow Raihan is one possession of the ball, but illegally. An inquest going on in the Singapore side in terms of the movement of the ball and sometimes getting in each other's way. Often than not, that's been happening. Congested on one side and congested on a flank, and then leaving spaces open at the back at the mercy of the Vietnamese lightning quick counter-attack, especially when it's led by that man on the ball, Quang No. Van Hu drilled it right across, an opportunity for the shot and goal! 2-0 Vietnam. Dinh Xuyen Tien. Calm as you like.
By player number 10, Đường Xuất Tị.
Oh, Van Hu had all the time in the world to cut right across, and once again they exploit the Singapore backline, who can't deal with the quick tempo, fiery nature of the Vietnamese forwards. Ball was drilled back, but how cool was Xuyen Tien at the edge of the penalty box. Didn't take the shots first time of the asking, had time to hold it back. There we go. He was at the edge of the penalty box. Shah Shahiran was there, and he knew that Shahiran was going to throw that block in, so he faked that shot. And how about this for a finish outside of the boots into the back of the nets? Let's pretend that I have a teammate at the far post and pass it on to him. 2-0. Mountain to climb now for Singapore. This bodes well for Vietnam. Remember, this is just a shade of that SEA Games squad. In fact, only 2 or 3 of these players in the AFF Under-23 Championships might make it to the SEA Games squad. I would say the number 5 would have a very good chance. Tan Khoi, classiest player on the pitch when the ball's at his feet. And it's gone right through to Quang No. Trying to find a teammate this time. He put way too much juice on the ball. Van Hu, Quang No, who's been everywhere. Tigerish in his challenge. Super brave. And a magician when he's on the ball. Tan Khoi and Quang No, the pick of the bunch so far. Numbers 5 and 6 for Vietnam. Jordan stepping in with the challenge at the right time. Gallagher knows that pass back to the goalkeeper is not available. He tried to hunt him down. Van Tong it was. Gave away a free kick to the process, and good enough work by Jared Gallagher to have faith in his ability to keep the ball and win the free kick. It's Messi. Heads dropped. Body language doesn't look good at all for the young Lions. It's as if they know, no matter how hard they've tried, they just cannot find a way through. Ilhan's touch is good enough. Glenn Quay is on the ball now. Will he be willing to take them on? Still Glenn. He still has possession of the ball. He's strung right across the pitch. Qayyum. Glenn still side by side with him. Raihan decided to take that shot on. Got the deflection. Ilhan Fandi inside the penalty box, not happy. He wants the delivery to be put in a lot sooner. By the time it got to Raihan, he had no choice but to take it on. Well, they need some positive vibes, and might come in the goal, but they need it soon as well. Chuan Quet. Vietnam prizing open the Singapore defense yet again. right spam. And Singapore concede 3 for the second game in a row. And it could get even worse here because we've only played 37 minutes.
Goal for Vietnam by player number 11, người Văn Tùng.
Van Tong gets his second of the game.
បញ្ចូលទីដោយកីឡាករលេខ11 người Văn Tùng.
Once again, they don't deal with the ball down the flanks. That one just pierced across way too easily. And the space that was available for Shen Quit was almost at an embarrassing level. He could cut inside or find a runner off the ball. And the Singapore defense just cannot deal with that extra run off the ball. There we go. They still have to put in that incisive final pass, which was delivered to precision by Van Tang, the right fullback. And Van Tong profits. Rian Sanizal, Said Akmal, here's Shah Shahiran, Saifullah. Tan Koi has been so good and ruling the center of the pitch. It's every time Singapore step into enemy's territory and find a way through and try to string a few passes together, he is right there blocking things off. Here is Shah. Trying to skip away from the challenge, but guess who's there again? Nguyen Tan Koi. The touch was very good by Shah, so too Ilhan. Gallagher couldn't keep the move alive. Tail of the tape, Singapore just that one save, and it was a very good one by Ridwan Fikri. And Vietnam a couple of saves, and one of them miraculously off the line by their fullback who was guarding the post at the corner. Glenn. That first touch that just deserted him more than the second. Let's see if Nasri, he doesn't have much to call from the bench, remember, just one outfield player available and 2 goalkeepers. And, let's see if he just switches things up a bit in the second 45 minutes in terms of the personnel he has already on the pitch. The switch in formation, maybe slightly more ambitious, and giving more support to Ilhan. Ball that had already gone out before Rian hooked it back in play. 5 minutes remaining of a chastening first half for Team Singapore. Quet allowed the ball to run, but this time there is no teammate behind him. Akmal, Ridwan was calm enough to not just hoof it long. MOVA. Gallagher. Once again, the press by the Vietnamese so very impressive, just swarming around the Singapore players when they have possession of the ball, trying to ensure that they are outnumbering the young Lions. Jordan MOVA, space to run into. Once again, the lack of support for Ilhan Fandi there to see. A different story altogether for him, having to play with his back to goal. Saifullah, but he didn't have to do that because Bhutan was really running into no man's land and going away from everything. It was Van Son really getting himself caught into a jam in a tight spot down the touchline, and was hoping for a reprieve and praying for one. Saifullah has just answered his prayers by tapping on his ankles. Tan Khoi, Van Quit, and Xuan Tian easing it into space for Zui Kwong. Once again, the runner off down the left-hand side is Van Son. And they've worked it well enough to Van Hu. And Singapore defence playing a very high line and playing very dangerously. And Kwong No had found some space behind, but they couldn't get the ball off to him. Xuan Quit. Watchful from Stewart. Saifullah. Nowhere out, no way at all. And they just give the ball away cheaply. And it was all down to the Vietnamese and that willingness to stay up there and defend from the front. They weren't going to just fall back and get themselves into a defensive shell whenever Singapore had possession of the ball. In fact, if anything, they committed even more players forward to try to win it back as high up as possible, and that they did. And now they have a free kick in a very dangerous position to make it 4 before the break. Well, these fans are in a party mood from the moment they got that early goal after 3 minutes. And then half an hour later it was 2-0. 4 minutes after that, 3-0. I know the SEA Games allows a couple of overage players for each team. And Singapore might be very interested in looking at a defender to shore up the back line. Of course, they're missing their influential captain Jacob Marler for the night after testing positive. And it's been very, very shaky. They're almost playing Jenga with that Singapore back line whenever they have possession of the ball. Kwong No now, who's strung everything together, and everything good that's come from his boots. Not from that free kick though. Easy pickings for Ridwan. Trying to launch it long for Glenn to chase. Header easily won by Van Tang, especially with his two centre-backs committed forward. Goalkeeper took a chance with that throw. And it's great work by Ilhan. Even better by Zui Kwong. Got in the way of both Ilhan and Glenn. Saifullah having to go all the way back to side Akmal.
Additional time, 2 minutes.
2 added minutes. A lot of it due to the injury to Jordan Emavue, who took the knee of Vietnamese defender Dui Kwong. Came crashing onto his bloodied jaw, bloodied lip from that collision. And Gallagher giving the ball away, and once again Kwong No makes full use of possession of the ball. Xuan Tian with acres of room to do something right now. Chen Quet dwelled on the ball way too long, and the threat quelled in the end. Qayyum deciding to come back and help out his defenders who were struggling. Emavue. Yet again they lose the ball very high up. Akmal though was there to just belt it down the line. And a very frustrating night for Ilhan Fandi continues as He just found nowhere around these two centre-backs who've kept a very tight rein on him. Offside, Kwang No. Will there be a consolation for Singapore before the break? Ilhan Fandi's got at the end of that one. Almost did. The outstretched boots of Dui Kwong ensured that the Singapore number 9 couldn't get at the end of it. But goalkeeper Eline came out and then a little suspicious of the bounce of the ball and didn't really commit himself to it. It's been a nightmare, to be honest, for Team Singapore in the first 45 minutes. They started the game off well and then gave the ball away in midfield, and it led to a counter-attack with Kwang No setting up Nguyen Van Tung for the opening goal after 3 minutes. Ilhan Fandi had a header saved off the line, and then Din Xuan Tien scored in the 33rd minute, and that man, Van Tung, got his second in the 37th minute of play. The defense has been shaky, it's been all over the place, it's been pretty vulnerable, and Vietnam have taken full advantage of it as they troop into the break, 3 goals up against a shaken Singapore side.